G'day peeps, so some exciting news and a bit of an update. Got the Tenere back today, so went and dropped it off at the Dyno shop last week out at One Addiction. The guys said, you know, haven't done one of these before, so this is the first, Tenere 700. They had a few little obstacles out there that they had to get over. So first one was the ECU. They worked out they couldn't do anything with it, so they had a solution for that. They took it out to Woolen Racing, over the other suburb, dropped it off personally, asked a few favours, got that cracked, and yeah mate, they got it back and then they could twink it with the remapping. So you'll see in the video a little bit after this introduction to it, and they'll explain a little bit more through it. It's a little bit muffled and all that, but they are working in a sound room, so it is a little bit loud in there, but you'll get the gist of it. So basically the guys out at One Addiction, they tuned it from 0 throttle up to 100% and actually made the fuel and air ratio like tweaked up in between all those parameters, and mate, the bike just runs so much better. I just can't believe the bottom response that it's got now, which it already had, but it's even more responsive. I wasn't looking for horsepower either. I was just looking for basically the reliability of the motor and the longevity. So they've tuned it in a way that they've got the air and the fuel basically down pat, and the guys will show you there on the video to come. So I'm absolutely stoked with it. So I'll leave a link down in the description for One Addiction. Talk to Elliot out there, guys. So easy to deal with. Nothing was a problem. If they found any issues, which they didn't, they'll get it sorted. So very, very happy with the outcome. So anyway, I'll roll some clips on, and the next video you guys will see will be the review on how it performs out in the bush. Obviously on the road, it's unbelievable. Suspension's all been updated now. Got that done by Paul up at Clounger up at MPE. Again, I haven't had a chance to go out the bush yet, so that will be my next video. I've basically got a rocket ship here, guys, so I've just got to learn to ride it now, and yeah, it's just going to be absolutely awesome. So stick with us, subscribe to Unleashed Adventures, make sure you like it. If you do, if you don't, doesn't matter. But anyway, check out the Dyno tune. Any questions, call them guys, because they're the experts in it. I was just absolutely stoked with what they've done, and they've done exactly the way I wanted it set up. Even worked with my airbox modification and the slip-on exhaust. So I'll show you a few figures, but yeah, it was definitely running lean. And the best thing to do in anyone's experience modifying any bikes for that, get it remapped, and these are the guys to do it. So worth it. All right, guys. See you on the next one. Hooroo.
Just getting your first of its kind Tenere ECU around here to Woolwich in style. The secret location. Woolwich.
We're back from Woolwich. They've had our ECU and we're ready to get tuning.
Righto, so a little bit of pinning out has to happen for the woolage to be installed. So this harness gets installed directly into your ECU plug. It picks up a couple of spare ECU pins. We also then use the standard Yamaha diagnostics plug to start talking to the ECU, writing the ECU and getting on board running data of the bike. That's our, when we combine with our AFR sensor, we'll have RPM, AFR sensor, gear, wheel speed and all that, so then we can start tuning. Rightio, so we've done our first write. It's really hard to focus on. That's ready to rock and roll. So that's now the base map, the base flash. So we'll strap it to the dyno and we'll tune her up. Okay, so we've done the first couple of pulls, and the green one's really interesting. So that's our low throttle position kind of opening. And as you can see, this other graph that we're sort of tracking down is our air-fuel ratio. 14.8, we're at stowage, but really that's a bit lean. A lot of bikes do that straight from OEM because that's where they're nice and efficient. Helps them with their Euro 5. However, your wide open run, that's 100% throttle, our nice red one. As you can see, making 70 horsepower, it's not too bad. It's a little bit lower, it's sitting at about the 13.8 AFR. So while I'm tuning it now, the wide open throttle, it will get a bit of a tickle, but it's not my major concern. What I really want to do is fix this low throttle opening and also the IAP map, so it's nice and punchy off the bottom of the throttle when you go from cruising altitude, say, to a little bit of power when you're in a rut or something. So as you can see, we're chewing through the tuning now, which we call the auto tune function of Woolwich. So all of these colours here, every cell that's got a colour in it is something that I've logged an air-fuel ratio for. That's our throttle position. That is our RPM of the engine, and that is the logged AFR that we've calculated or got through the system. Now, what the auto tune function does is it does the maths automatically for us, so it can alter the fuel delivery for that particular cell. So, as you can see here, I'm actually targeting an AFR. It starts a bit leaner down here, goes a bit richer down at the high throttle, high RPM. It always starts a bit leaner on most bikes, but a majority of the map is between 13.5 to 13.2. So that's what I've been spending a lot of time trying to get right, just that throttle crack opening, that 20% kind of throttle up to the 50% throttle, not really the wide open throttle runs yet. And as you can see, my logged air fuel ratio is up in the 14s. So where I'm trying to get my 13s, it's gone bright red, letting me know that the bike's running very lean, as expected with the air filter mods. However, once I start getting up in the higher marks, it's starting to get a little bit closer to where we want to be. That's what the blue colour or the light blue is telling me. So I'm going to keep on doing a couple of runs. I'm going to try and fill all the cells in this, do the calculations, write the ECU with the new maps, and see how we go with some fueling and some power delivery. so we're all finished now, and just to give an idea of what I was actually chasing, we can see that the red and my green line, power's up the top there, that fuel ratio, air fuel ratio has started to smooth out beautifully right at our 13.2, 13.3, which is what we normally start with our tuning on our bikes. Most bikes seem to respond anywhere between the 12.8 to 13.3. Where we started though, the pink line for the low throttle opening, all the way up here at our 15. So that pink line is now the red line. So we've got nice responsive fueling. Our blue line, it hasn't had such a huge increase, but as you can see, it has actually come down a little bit as well. And that's the whole idea of the tuning process. Many runs, fine tune as many parts of the graph as we can, so then your fueling's nice and consistent.